Hello, everyone. I'm Corin Davis, your host of The Rundown. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a very busy week here at WT. I want to first start off by recapping our Hall of Champions induction ceremony that took place on Friday. It was a wonderful evening honoring 7 alumni who exemplified what it means to be a leader, a hard worker, and was someone who made a positive impact on their teammates both on and off the field, court, or course during their time in the maroon and white. We also want to recognize the Legacy Award recipients. Congratulations to everyone who was honored and inducted into the Hall of Champions. Now moving on to Saturday night, I'm sure most of you know that the WT football team defeated Adams State in style, might I add. The Buffs were repping their new gray unis, though I don't think the new apparel was the good luck charm that brought the Buffs their victory, but rather a guy named Kanon Gibson. Name sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. There's no coincidence his name is Kanon. The freshman quarterback threw for 146 yards, had 42 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. I got to sit down with the young talent this week to talk all about the game, all about his time playing for Wink, his dad. Take a look. Well, first, I want to congratulate you on a job well done the other night. You put on quite the performance. It was really fun to watch. And you knew going into that game that you were going to be the starting quarterback. What was going through your head? What were the emotions like when you were going through the tunnel and then taking the field at Bain Schaefer for the first time? What were those emotions?
It was definitely nerve-wracking a little bit. I was super excited throughout the week getting to know that I was getting to play in front of this huge crowd and everybody, cheering on the Buffaloes, because we really do we're blessed to have the support that we do in the community and on the campus. But, I was really just excited. I was excited for our team. I was excited to let everybody know what we could show and that we were going to get back on the right track after, starting the year not how we wanted.
Well, you don't look like a freshman on paper, and you certainly don't look like a freshman on the field. When you said you were nervous there for a second, I was like, he's really good at hiding it because you're so calm, you're poised in the pocket. You have this steadiness about you that not a lot of quarterbacks have at your age. So I'm curious, are you nervous at all on the end, or are you excited at all on the inside?
No, yeah, I was definitely excited. I think that's just like a shout out to what our coaches, how they prepared me throughout the week. They really got me ready. They got the team ready and everybody else ready to where, when we went out there, we were confident in what we were doing and we were confident in our abilities, what we were doing, which I think that helped a lot, and it really kind of showed on the field as well.
How did you feel after you walked off the field, you won the game, knowing that you played a pivotal role in that win?
I was just super excited. A win is a win in college football. There are definitely some things we could do better, but, going to see my parents after the game, my grandparents, the emotions really kind of came over me. This has been a dream of mine ever since I can remember, and especially to get to do it here, somewhere I've always wanted to play. So it was definitely a very, very good experience, and I'll cherish it forever.
You're from Wink, Texas, a small town about 4.5 hours from here. You had a very successful career there, and now you're on a little bit bigger platform. You have a little bit more pressure on you, a little bit more eyes on you. So I'm curious, how has that transition been? Because sometimes for people, it's harder going from a senior in high school to a freshman in college.
The transition's definitely been kind of difficult on some parts, but then there's been parts that are kind of the same as well. I think it's just my high school coaches. They did a really good job preparing me for this moment and preparing me to, come in and compete for the spot. On that note as well, stepping in here is a lot different than Wink. This is a Division II program that's really touted as one of the high programs in the nation. So, there's going to be a lot of pressure, but, one thing I've always grown up thinking is that pressure is a privilege. The more pressure you have, that means the more chances that you have and the more eyes you have on you, which that's a good thing when you think about it.
A Nick Saban quote, pressure is a privilege. He said that the other day as well. Well, it was a lot of fun for you, and I know that it was fun for everybody else watching you. It was evident, too, that you're not afraid to make the risky throw. You had a couple of Patrick Mahomes lobs. I could have sworn that you had like an Aaron Rodgers no look. Maybe I misjudged that. But do you have a player that you try to replicate when you step out on the field?
No, that's not really what I try to replicate. I kind of just try and do really whatever it takes on that play. I have full faith in my guys. I think we have some of the best receivers in the nation. We have guys that can go make plays. So, when you have that, you can do things that not a lot of other people can do because of the faith I have in them. And, I think that helps a lot with some stuff that I'm able to do on the field, but, they don't really get as much credit for it as they should because, in the end, it's kind of making me look good, but whenever you think about it, they're the ones that are making me look good.
That's awesome. I want to backtrack for a moment during your time at Wink High School. You played for your dad. So how has he, your coach's kid, how has he shaped you and molded you into the person and player that you are today?
Me and my dad we were really close in high school. Every day we'd come home, we'd be talking about football, we'd go on vacation, talk about football. He's the father figure that I think everybody wishes they could have. Everything I've learned through football, through life, through Christ, everything has kind of been based throughout him, my mother, and my family. But, I think he's also helped me mold into how to be a good player, a good teammate, and all that, which I think Coach Lynn has also done an amazing job with me as well. They've all been helping lead me and helping me learn how to be a quarterback because it's not just stuff that you do on the field, but it's also the stuff that you do off the field that matters as well.
Well, I know you haven't been here for very long, but what have you enjoyed most so far about getting to be a part of the WT football program?
Just the locker room, I think. Not just in the locker room, but just hanging out with the football players. The connection that people have on this team and the bond that I think this team's finally starting to build because we have a lot of new guys on it. It's truly special, and I really honestly didn't expect it to come this fast. But, we're all starting to gel together as one. And I think whenever we finally complete that and we're all a complete team, which I think we're right there next to it, I think that's whenever we're going to see a huge change, and that's whenever we're going to be where we want to be as a program. So that's definitely my favorite thing about college so far.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to watching you and the rest of the Buffs this season.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
The Buffs will be back here in Canyon on Saturday night, taking on Midwestern in a conference matchup. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, WT Volleyball will be hosting the Lone Star Conference crossover tournament at the Box. The Lady Buffs will be playing one match per day. The Buffalo Baseball Alumni Game registration is now open. The games will be held on October 13th and 14th. I want to remind everybody, if you haven't already, please go follow us on Twitter or X, Instagram, and Facebook at WT The Rundown. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. That's all for this week's episode. We will absolutely see you next time. As always, I'm Kanon Davis, and you're watching The Rundown.